All right. Good afternoon, Fallbrook. Kim Steele here, KSA Kim, and we are here today with Miss Fallbrook, Samantha Burke. How are you, Samantha?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am wonderful. You look beautiful. If everyone
Thank
can see, she's got her full regalia going on, and she looks absolutely amazing.
thank you.
And so today we want to kind of give the community a little bit of insight on how what Miss Fallbrook really is.
Great.
What it does for you, the participants, as well as what it does for the community. We all go to events. We go to the Christmas parade, and we go to the different chamber events, and all of the really cool stuff that happens around the
Right.
community in Fallbrook. And we see you guys out there, but I don't know that unless they've been actively involved in
What
the
we
past,
do.
most
Yeah.
people really don't understand exactly what it's
Right.
all about.
Other than
So
just
right. So, give us just a quick overview of what's the purpose and kind of the mission of Miss Fallbrook.
So Miss Fallbrook is going to be, it's a very volunteer oriented position. Everything we do is volunteer. We do earn a scholarship, but
Great.
we do a lot of different service projects with the community. Anything we go to is completely volunteer. So a lot of times at the events, we'll be helping serve food, we'll be running booths, as well as sometimes participating. Like at Arts in the Park, we helped serve the food, but then we also walked around and did the crafts. So for kind of what we get out of it and like the mission, it's just really bettering ourselves by we have to really get out of our shell and be such but more people, I guess.
People.
People, and we do a lot of work with the chamber and the Rotary. So you're taking teenagers and forcing them to talk to these business owners and adults, and kind of just getting used to that, I guess, and really just working towards helping us with being able to do job interviews and start our lives after we're done.
I think that's huge. I was actually thinking about that today while I was prepping for this. And
Mm-hmm.
again, sorry, we had a couple little technical glitches getting started here, but it looks like we're good now. And, any business, it doesn't matter what you do, whether it's, volunteer type work or whether you're going to move into any type of public service, local politics, or even politics at a larger level. If you are going to want to become a business owner, almost anything that you do in the world these days with all the social media and all the things that are out there, you really have to be reaching out and touching the community.
Right.
And let me tell you, because we do a lot of that for the different businesses that we have, and it's hard.
It
It's
is.
hard.
And
It's
networking,
intimidating to a lot of people. And
public.
so I think this is huge, prepping you guys for this. I think it is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Network.
definitely. So tell me a little bit about the like what's the timeline or sort of the season or the schedule throughout the year? When is the pageant? And then, what's kind of the season leading up to that? I know you guys go out in the community, all the candidates, and kind of raise awareness for their campaign, I guess is the best way to put it. You guys
Yeah.
probably have a better word
The
for it.
platform.
So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what's kind of the timeline cycle throughout the year for Miss Fallbrook?
So Miss Fallbrook starts in January with the pre-pageant, and it's going to be with orientations, just raising awareness, getting the contestants, and then it starts. I think this year I want to say it's January 20th. It's a Sunday, and then there's rehearsals every Sunday until the pageant. Pretty much during the rehearsals, we just are mostly practicing giving our platform speeches. So it's like the base that we're running on, what we're running to raise awareness for. Mine was Be the Match, which is a bone marrow transplant registry.
Awesome.
It's going to be practicing what we're doing on stage. It's going to be our dance. And then we have a lot of different events that the contestants do to help them get ready. So it's going to be, we have interview days, we have a makeup day. There was a couple different service projects we went to. And then on top of that, we also went to other cities' pageants just to kind of get a feel for kind of what it looks like to actually do it as well. And then the pageant is going to be this year, it's the last Saturday in March, so I don't remember the exact date. And then
Okay.
from there, the new Miss Fallbrook will take over, and then they kind of, their first, if there is, sometimes there's events in between, but often the first real event is going to be the Avocado Festival. And then they just go from there and do
Okay.
everything and anything in Fallbrook. We'll do different things, like we'll get invited to it, and then there's other things that we just know that we're obviously going to do, kind of like the Christmas parade and that kind of thing.
Okay,
And then it
great.
starts back over in January.
Wow. So
Yeah.
do you know, I mean, is that sort of by design that it sort of coincides with AvoFest being the first big event, or is that just a lucky
I
coincidence?
No, it has been. I don't know how long it's been that way, but so in the past, like, so one of our co-directors was Miss Fallbrook 2009, and back then they used to have it where the pageant was the night before the avocado festival. So they kind of just had the pageant all day and then rolled straight into the avocado festival. Now
Wow.
they've separated a little bit, but that's kind of like we refer to it as like our debut in Fallbrook as the new reigning court.
Very cool. Very cool. So, you kind of already talked about the community involvement and the different events that you go to. How many events do you wind up pretty much doing in the course of a year? A lot.
I should probably check because I'd like to be able to use the amount of service hours that I have to apply to scholarships and different kinds of things. But it's a lot. In a month we
Yeah.
could have some months it's been only a couple, 2 or 3, and then others it's been 8 or 9, and they're
Wow.
all different. They're all different levels of what we're doing. Sometimes it's just we're just there supporting. We don't have a specific role. It's a community event, so we're going to show up because we are Fallbrook, I guess. And then other ones we go because we're going to be helping out or volunteering in some way.
Very nice. Very nice. So, is this something? I mean, Fallbrook's a small town. We're not Oceanside or
Our
San
little
Diego. Right. So I'm curious. I know that pageants in general is a big deal for a lot of people. And there's people that start in pageants when they're still in diapers.
Right.
And they kind of follow that path throughout, into young adulthood and kind of make that their thing, their activity, no different than
Yeah.
some people play football.
Right.
So in
Sports
Fallbrook specifically, right, in Fallbrook specifically, is that something, are all of you guys, or are the majority of you guys kind of like been doing this for a while, or did you just decide, you know what, I want to do it just because it's Fallbrook and you're a little bit more new to the pageant thing, or is it a mix?
So, as far as I know, most of the people that I've come in contact with that have done Miss Fallbrook was their first pageant, and then a lot of them it was their only pageant. But I do
Wow.
know multiple where they loved it so much that they continued on to do other things. There's a couple that have bigger titles. They've moved on to different, like National American Miss is a really big pageant circuit. So a couple have moved on to do that one. But a lot of them are just one and done. They
Yeah.
decide that was a lot of fun, but now I'm gonna use this to continue growing, but in a different way, not
Sure.
with continuing pageants.
Sure. How powerful do you think this is? I mean, this has got to be pretty powerful when it comes to like college apps, which are just more and more competitive these days. I mean, I'm old. I'm 42. I went to college and I look back on like I would probably never get into college today. Like but I mean, this has got to be pretty big. This is to as far as benefiting you and putting you at the head of the pack.
Right. Well, so because we can really push that. Yes, it was a pageant, and yes, it is. People see it as a beauty pageant, but we really push that it was a scholarship pageant, and we do so much volunteer work that's what we can bring it down to be. Once I go through and count up all my hours, I can be like, look, I did such and such hours just for my community, just because I love it, because I think it's fun, and I got to wear a crown doing it and made it even better. So
Right.
But so it can be when every little tiny detail for college counts. This can look really good, especially for different. I got an internship recently, and I put that on my resume to show like my internship is unpaid. It's volunteer. I already do volunteer work. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not getting paid for my work. Like it's
right.
So
right. That's huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, pageants, of course. I'm sure you're not immune to some of the things that the stereotypes that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Fallbrook's a small town, and I feel like anything that happens in Fallbrook is we just tend to keep things really wholesome and but do you ever find yourself having to sort of talk your way out of the stereotype that comes with doing this?
You're the back. Not that I know. Nothing really comes to mind. A lot of people some people in my work, they make fun of like, oh, you're like queen, and I'm like, no, not really. Like it's just it's Fallbrook. Like it's
Right.
not, we're not up there in dresses with high slits and showing a lot of cleavage. You know, where it's more
Right.
we dress very conservatively to be the face of a more conservative town. And so, like for me, I do have tattoos, so that's not super super conservative. But I
Me
don't
too.
feel like I've ever had to be like, well, yeah, it's a pageant, but I'm not really a beauty queen, I guess. It's just kind of
Right.
comes to show that people that know me know that I'm not that kind of person, I guess. So
Right.
it hasn't been an
Right.
issue for me.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good because I mean, you definitely hear things in other places, and it's like,
right.
I mean, to me, I think I look at it as it's just another activity to
Right.
do. No different than again, some people play basketball or they cheerlead or football or
Exactly.
whatever else it might be. So awesome, awesome.
Fun
So,
too.
so, is there anything else you kind of want to just let everybody know about Miss Fallbrook?
To just, even if you have, if you're even thinking like, oh, maybe this would be something fun to do, just go to an orientation, because that was for me. I didn't think I wanted to do it, and then I went to the orientation and realized it's actually not that hard to run. And the
Yeah.
pageant, which I was dreading and thought I was gonna hate, was so much fun, and I was so sad that it was over in one night. And so for anybody thinking that like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it, it's such a big time commitment, just think about the fact that like you're going to be spending that time some way or another. You might as well do it in a tiara. Like, I mean, come on. It
I
makes it
love
more
it.
fun.
I love it.
So,
I'm gonna start coming to work in a tiara.
there you go.
That's
Do
my new
it.
thing.
People
I'm totally doing
people
it.
they'll treat you different. And you hold yourself differently when you wear a tiara.
I think I'm gonna have to give it a try. Well, that kind of led into my final question is just if a girl's out in the community and is wondering how to get involved for the upcoming year, what's their first step? What's step one? Is there somebody to contact?
So,
Is there a scheduled thing?
yes. So our co-directors are Cristiana Menares and Sherry Trombetta. We have a Facebook page. I want to say if you just search Miss Fallbrook Scholarship Pageant, it should pop up. And then any information about, uh, yes, any information about orientations and the start of the pageant will be on there. And then anything that we do with Miss Fallbrook and all that, it's all on there as well. So then that way they can contact that and get more information on just
Okay.
start.
Okay, that's awesome. And as I share this out, I'll go ahead and put some of the contact info up there as well in the post, so people can click that and
Perfect.
see where to
And
go
go and
to
what
get
we
more
do.
info.
Yeah, perfect. Thank
Awesome.
you.
All right. Well, I thank you so much, Samantha, for
Thank
being with us
you.
today, and we hope to see you out there in the community.
You will.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right.